The air reeked of sulfur and decay. The ground beneath Shaya's feet was uneven and slick, the jagged stones cutting into her skin. Her breathing came in shallow gasps as her legs carried her through the endless maze of a ruined city. Towering spires, once gleaming with alien beauty, now lay in crumbled heaps. The only sound accompanying her frantic footsteps was the guttural growls of the beasts chasing her. Shaya clutched her side, where green blood seeped through the shredded remnants of her tunic. Pain racked her body, and she knew she couldn't keep running much longer. The monstrous creatures behind her, hulking, shadowy predators with glowing red eyes and rows of serrated teeth, were gaining ground. She stumbled into an alley, her elongated fingers brushing against a rusted metal wall. There was no escape here, only a dead end. Panic surged through her as the growls grew louder. Shaya turned, her 4 eyes widening as the pack of beasts rounded the corner, their clawed limbs scraping against the ground. "Is this how it ends?" she whispered in her native tongue, her voice trembling. Her people, the Elyssari, were not warriors. They were scholars, artists, and explorers. She had ventured to this desolate planet seeking knowledge, only to find death lurking at every corner. The first beast lunged. Shaya closed her eyes, bracing for the inevitable. A deafening crack split the air. The sound was followed by another, and then another, like thunder echoing through the ruins. Shaya's eyes snapped open to see the lead creature collapse mid-leap, a smoking hole through its skull. The others hesitated, snarling and looking around for the source of the attack. A figure emerged from the shadows, clad in tattered combat gear and wielding a weapon that Shaya had never seen before. The human was tall, with sharp, angular features partially obscured by a scruffy beard. His eyes were cold, calculating, and locked onto the remaining beasts. "Come on," the man growled, his voice carrying an edge of challenge. "Who's next?" The beasts charged, but the human was faster. He moved with precision, each shot from his weapon striking true. Within moments, the alley was littered with the lifeless bodies of the creatures. The acrid smell of burned flesh filled the air. Shaya stared at the human, her heart pounding. He turned to her, his expression unreadable as he slung the weapon over his shoulder. "You're alive," he said, his voice gruff but not unkind. "Good. Can you walk?" Shaya hesitated, her mind racing. She had heard of humans, the warlike species from the Sol system. They were supposed to be brutal, ruthless, and untrustworthy. Yet this one had just saved her life. I think so," she managed, her voice weak. She took a tentative step forward, only to collapse as pain flared in her leg. The human sighed and knelt beside her. "Figures. Hold still." Before Shaya could protest, he lifted her into his arms. His touch was firm but careful, as though he were handling something fragile. Shaya's 4 eyes met his too, and she saw no malice there, only a hardened resolve. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you save me?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he started walking, carrying her through the ruined city. Finally, he spoke. "Because no one deserves to die like that. Not even you." Shaya frowned. "Not even me?" The human glanced down at her, his lips twitching in what might have been a faint smile. "You're Elyssari, right?" "Not exactly on friendly terms with my kind." Shaya's cheeks flushed a deep violet. It was true. The Elyssari viewed humans as barbaric, a species to be avoided. But now, cradled in this human's arms, she couldn't reconcile those beliefs with the reality before her. "What is your name?" she asked softly. "Ethan," he replied. "Ethan Cross." "And you?" "Shaya Ilvar." "Well, Shaya," Ethan said, "let's get you patched up before those things come back." Ethan led Shaya to a hidden shelter, a makeshift base nestled within the ruins. The interior was sparse but functional, with a cot, a small generator, and an assortment of weapons and supplies. He set her down gently on the cot and began tending to her wounds. Shaya watched him work, her curiosity outweighing her pain. "Why are you here?" she asked. "This planet is a graveyard." Ethan's hands paused briefly before resuming their task. "Looking for someone," he said. "My sister. She was part of a research team that came here a year ago. When the transmission stopped, I came to find her. Shaya's chest tightened. I'm sorry, she said. I haven't seen any humans here, alive or otherwise. Ethan nodded, his jaw clenching. Figured as much. But I had to try. You care for her deeply, Shaya observed. She's family, Ethan said simply, as if that explained everything. Shaya's people valued community and kinship, but the intensity of human familial bonds was something she had never truly understood until now. It was both alien and admirable. Days turned into weeks as Shaya recovered under Ethan's care. The two unlikely allies forged an uneasy truce, their initial wariness giving way to mutual respect. Ethan taught Shaya how to defend herself, and she shared her knowledge of alien technology to improve their chances of survival. One evening, as they sat around a small fire, Shaya spoke up. Ethan, why do humans fight so much? Your species seems drawn to conflict. Ethan chuckled, though there was little humor in it. Yeah, we've got a reputation for that. But it's not just about fighting. It's about surviving, protecting what matters. Sometimes that means making tough choices. Shaya tilted her head. And what matters to you? Ethan met her gaze, his expression unreadable. Right now? Making sure you don't get yourself killed. Their fragile peace was shattered one night when a massive horde of monsters descended upon the shelter. The ground shook with their approach, and their guttural roars filled the air. We have to move, Ethan shouted, grabbing his weapon. Shaya nodded, her heart pounding. They fought their way through the ruins, Ethan's skill and Shaya's newfound courage keeping them alive. But the beasts were relentless, and their numbers seemed endless. As they reached the outskirts of the city, a massive creature emerged, towering over the others. Its eyes glowed with malevolent intelligence, and it roared, the sound reverberating through the air. Ethan turned to Shaya, his expression grim. Go. I'll hold it off. No. Shaya cried. I won't leave you. Ethan gripped her shoulders. Shaya, listen to me. You're the smart one. You'll find a way off this planet. But you can't do that if you're dead. Tears filled Shaya's eyes. Ethan, please. He smiled, a faint, weary smile. You've got this, Shaya. Now go. With the last ounce of her strength, Shaya